Hello pipe community, welcome back to the Barepipe channel. Today's a little different, coming to you again from the back porch. But today I want to talk about Father the Flame, which is a movie that was done by a guy called Jeremy Rush, which deals with the world of pipe smoking. It's kind of a rare thing nowadays to get a movie that deals specifically with the world of pipe smoking, so it's kind of special and it's worth talking about. And I want to encourage you to go and see this movie because I think it's worth the watch. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the movie is about, also what it's not about, some of the things I liked about it, and also some of the things I didn't like about it. And I'll give you a rating. Not that my rating counts for anything since I'm not a movie guy. This is just my own amateur rating. So, what's the movie about? The movie bills itself as dealing with legacy, with family, the things that we pass along. It's really about craftsmanship. I expected something a little different based on the billing. I've been following the story of this movie's creation and looking forward to it for the last 2 years. And based on the bits and pieces I've heard about it and the previews I've seen, I kind of expected something that was going to deal with the craft of pipe making and craftsmanship, maybe a bit of a phenomenological study of that and looking at the meaning of craftsmanship and how pipes are made. It's not that. Really what it is an intimate view of 4 different groups of people, and it's an intimate view of their personal lives and how they are transmitting their knowledge to the next generation. And it's really about family legacy in that sense. So it's actually exactly what it says on the tin. So me having a misunderstanding about what it's about is probably more up to me than the filmmaker. It's a documentary movie, but you can almost imagine it's something like it's like walking through a garden and getting little vignettes as you walk through the garden, little views of something that follows a similar topic. It's not a story as such with a beginning, a middle, and an end. And the vignettes are somewhat unrelated. You have Lee Eric, who is the main character or main subject of the movie. It's a guy from Minnesota who's a pipe carver, carves high-end pipes. And his legacy is really the pipes he's leaving behind for the next generation and the generation after that. And then you have the Everson family, starting with Sexton Everson, who's of course passed away a few years ago already, Lars Everson, who passed away shortly after the movie was completed, and then Nana Everson, his daughter, who is now carrying on with the tradition of Danish pipe carving, which was started by her grandfather, Sexton. Given that Lars actually just recently died, this is probably some of the last meaningful interviews and footage that was shot of him. And that in and of itself makes this worth watching. It also deals with Erickson and Warren Yellowhead. Yellowhead is actually a Lakota tribe chief, and the sacred pipe carving that both of them do, and which of course comes out of a tradition that is thousands of years old and really is the root of pipe making and pipe carving. The Europeans got it from the First Nations in North America. They transferred it back to Europe, developed the briar pipe industry there, and then transported that back into North America. And now the high-end pipe carvers in North America are following what they think is a European tradition, but it's really actually got its roots far, far back in the First Nations stone pipe carving, which was done for sacred pipes. And it's looking at these 2 sacred pipe carvers and how they are retaining that tradition and transferring it over to the next generation through the retention of these traditions. It also looks at Mimo and Pippo in Italy, who are briar cutters. And Mimo is the guy who learned from his dad, Pippo. Pippo actually dies while the movie is being made. And It's kind of a sad little bit in the movie because at a certain point, Pipo passes away. And Mimo learns from his dad and carries on the tradition of carving high-end briar for artisan pipe makers. Just because of the personal intimacy of these significant pipe carvers and the view that you get of that personal world of theirs, that alone makes a movie worth watching because it's really compelling and interesting to see. Like I say, it's not a story. It doesn't have a beginning, a middle, and end. It's really a series of unrelated vignettes. It's kind of a love story that's written to the craft of pipe making and how that gets passed on from generation to generation, which is really lovely. It's a quiet, gentle movie, very intimate and small in its scale. It's tightly cropped in its contents. But this is where there's a bit of a jarring note in the movie for me, because in the transitions between these vignettes, the filmmaker tried to appeal to a certain universality and being tied to something much greater to ourselves through some digital art and through some really epic music. And to me, that was a little jarring. It didn't actually fit well with this small, intimate views that you get of these individual pipe makers. And to me, was a bit distracting, actually. And it was, to me, a bit unfortunate. I think if they were using quieter music and they didn't try and bring in this kind of allusion to something of a universal quality, the movie would have been stronger for it. But that's really the only jarring note that I have about this movie. And if you're interested in the world of pipe smoking, you're interested in pipes, you're interested in craftsmanship about pipes, it's absolutely worth a watch and you should go and see it. You can find it on iTunes. You can find it in Amazon Prime. I bought it on iTunes mainly because I wanted to support the filmmaker, and I thought I'd rather buy the movie and pay for it. And in that way, there's a bit of a better income stream to the movie maker, because I think it's worth supporting artists like Jeremy Rush, who created a movie that deals with something that we're all quite passionate about. So go see it. If I had to give it a rating, I would say it's about a 7 out of 10. It's not a profound movie. It's not a life-changing movie, but it's a beautiful, intimate study of the craftsmanship that sits behind our hobby. And it's beautifully filmed. The photography and the cinematography is beautifully done. And it's well edited as well. So go see it. If you haven't heard of it, go check it out. If you have, by all means, try and get a copy of it and have a look and let me know what you think about it in the comment section if you've watched it already. So with that, thank you for watching. Next time when we're back here, we'll be back to some pipe restorations.